Welcome to SmartWatchTicks, a YouTube channel dedicated to smartwatches, and here's the situation. Holidays are coming. You know you want a smartwatch. You're out with your partner, you're at a place that you've heard has smartwatches, and your partner needs to run to the restroom. So you kind of narrowed your hunt down on the internet, and now you have some burning questions to ask. You only have 5 minutes or less before your partner's back, and you want to know which one you're going to ask for the holidays. You ready? Here we go. So you're narrowing your decision down, and you're contemplating the FINOW X1 or the FINOW X5. Good choices, both of them. They are different, however, and so in your little 5 minutes, let's take a quick look at what the differences are, because you can watch the full-length reviews on each of these for details. But in terms of comparison, there's a couple of glaring things that we'll notice. And it's not in the bands. The bands are the first thing we're looking at. They are identical. As far as we can tell, they're exactly the same bands, so there's no difference there. And they're not removable. So if you're looking between the X1 and the X5, you'll have the same bands. But there are differences in the buttons. It's a single button on the X1 and 3 buttons on the X5. The center button on both work pretty much the same, and they let you turn the watch on and off and bring it back to the screen itself. Both of them are booting up, so the button's not responsive yet until after they've loaded the full operating system. On the X5, you have 2 other buttons. The top one lets you go back 1 level if you're buried deep in the menu items. You don't have that here, you just have the 1 button. And the bottom button is an SOS emergency feature. So if you're going to put a SIM card in the X5 and you want to have emergency contacts there, when you push and hold that bottom button, you'll activate the process that would call your emergency contact after you've added them to the system. Okay? So that's something you get on the X5 that you don't get on the X1. What else have we got? The SIM installation and removal is the same on both. You have to unscrew the back and take it apart in order to get inside to put the SIM card. So most likely you're not going to be doing that often. It's not an easy watch to take the SIM card from your phone and put it in your watch, go out for a jog, and then take it out of your watch and put it back in your phone. If you're going to use the communication capability of cellular and put your SIM card in here, it'll probably be a dedicated one, because it's not an easy way to put it in and remove it. The screens, of course, are different. And it's hard to show you that because depending on how I move it, they'll look bigger or smaller. But in reality, the X5 is definitely bigger than the X1. And it's an AMO LED screen. And in another video, we show you what these things look like under sunlight and in various conditions, so you can see that the X5 is definitely a brighter watch. However, because this is a smaller watch, it's probably better for medium-sized to small wrists, where this one is good for medium-sized to large wrists. The speaker on the X1 is right here at the top, as it is on the X5. They're a little bit different design, and the sound comes out under the watch band. So it's not all that loud, even when you have it turned up really loud. If you are using it for phone calls, you'll probably have your wrist up to your ear, or you'll use a Bluetooth speaker. There's heart rate monitors on both. They're the basic original type heart rate monitor. There's no camera, and they both charge with a charging dock. Now let's take a look at that. The X1 dock is this one. It has 4 pins, and it sits right on the watch like this. Now we've seen some issues with these, in that these pins sometimes, the springs that hold them in, well, they don't do well, and sometimes they get depressed, especially the middle 2 that are for data transfer. You may have an issue with your dock with the X1 watch, so just be aware of that. You might want to get an extra dock or 2. You just plug it into a USB right there, put the dock on, and that's how you charge and use this watch. The X5 has the same thing. It's a thinner connector with a little pin in it that lines up on the bottom of the watch like so and snaps in place magnetically, coupled, and it holds nicely. And again, you put the USB connector here. So both of them charge with docks. This is a bigger, fatter one. This one, you actually could wear it on your wrist with the dock on if you wanted to, and charge it up with one of those external battery charging units to give you more time during the day. Okay, so that's in terms of charging. And battery life, well, battery life is hard to tell. We have a special video up. It's the #2 most asked question video, and we're asking our viewers to give us comments in the section below on what their experiences, your experience is on your battery life with your watch. So please take advantage of that. Check what other people are saying for the battery life of these watches and add your own once you have your watch. We'd really appreciate it. And as far as rule of thumb, you probably will get at least a day's worth of battery out of it if you don't use it too heavily. Software, the memory is the same, the operating system the same, the performance testing is the same. They are the same watch, just a different size. Phone tethering is not very good for either one of them. They're really meant to be standalone watches, and they can all support the designer-created watch faces by simply pressing and holding after you've installed them, he says, as neither one of them is responding that well. And you just slide and pick out the watch face that you want. You can add new faces with that little plus sign, and the new ones that you've added have that little minus sign. Or you can do the designer downloaded kind like we have here. And a lot of black space in here because I installed these from a Macintosh, and they tend to leave a lot of blank. And then you can just click on one of them. And we have all sorts of reviews of these custom watch faces as well. So either one of these watches will support that. There's not much difference. The app layout, you still have the problem that the apps take up the full screen. So if you have a menu item somewhere off the screen, you don't have access to it. There's a firmware update we hope is going to propagate through all of these watches. It's available on the FINOW X1 right now. And if it is implemented in these other watches, you'll have a setting that you can make the app show up in a little square within the circle so you can tap on the menu items. But it's not here yet. It's in the works, and it is available on the FINOW X1. Okay, any other special features of either of these watches? Not much, other than the SOS feature and the extra button that you get on the X5, and of course the larger screen. As far as, time for decisions. Your partner's coming back. As far as price, availability, and the overall look of these watches, pricing, we're trying to get you the best we can in the availability, which is in the links in the show notes. So if you're interested and you've made your choice between the X1 and the X5, check the links below and use the coupon that we provide to get the best price. Buy it over the web, and it helps to support us in getting more watches because our suppliers are shipping these out for you to see. Overall look and feel, you just simply got to put it on, take a look, and get a feel for it for yourself. How does it look? Well, this is how the X1 looks on. Nice watch. Now compare that with the X5. I'll take the dock off for this. And you can see that that is quite a bit larger watch with the extra buttons on there. Come back here. And it's much more easy to read. So, you know, the larger screen makes text easier to read, but it is a larger watch overall. All right, there you go. You should know now whether to ask for the X1 or the X5 for the holidays. You're watching SmartWatchTicks, and thanks for watching.